Hi guys, it's your favourite YouTuber again, Danny Solari, and you're watching DS Learning Finance. Now, today's episode is kind of like a follow-up from the previous episode, how to choose the right stock. I'm going to actually give you one example of the right stock, and I'm going to talk through it. What is the stock, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and why I feel it's the right stock for me. Now, you guys all know what that stock is? Well, you know what to do. Keep watching. Why keep watching? Because you know it's coming. Now, the stock I'm going to talk about today is Babcock. I know a lot of people are looking around the crickets. What is Babcock? Well, they're customer supportive services, particularly in the military and infrastructure region. So what they do is they assist other people, they assist other companies, they assist the government with their expertise. And that's why I really like it, because what they're offering is not just the product, it's more so a service. And I like that because of the fact that you will always require someone's expertise. You always need to know someone's knowledge in terms of engineering. You always need to require that. And that's what Babcock offers to their customers. So a good example is they are really heavily involved with the military in the UK. So Babcock helps build aircraft units, boats for the MOD, the Military of Defence in the UK. That's one of their biggest clients. Also, they work abroad, they build aircraft for countries in Africa, Ghana in particular, and Mozambique. They have branches over there. Also really good with the Australian military as well. They have a connection there. They offer their expertise there. That's why I really like them. Also, if you notice, if you look at the sort of company Babcock is, you'll notice that it's actually a defensive company. Now, I don't know if you guys watched my previous video of the different type of companies you can invest in. Defensive companies is amongst one of them. What is a defensive company? A defensive company is a company that can withstand the test of time. So whether the market's in booming bullish market, so it's doing really well, or whether it's in a bearish market, i.e. recession, worst case scenario, it will still do well. That's why I like Babcock, because it can withstand the test of time. The reason being is because a lot of their customers are in the military. A lot of their customers help the government to obviously prevail, to keep going, and that's why it can withstand the test of time, because whether we're in a war or not, you're always going to want to have people, you're always going to want to have your army at their A game just in case. The government needs to make sure that they can provide that service if need be. That's a brief overview of what Babcock does. Now let me dive into the financial area. So Babcock is obviously a FTSE 100 company, so it's top 100 companies in the UK, and it quite rightfully has that title. It's got a market cap of roughly £4.6 billion. The dividend yield is roughly 2.84%. It has a dividend cover of at least 2. It's got a P ratio of roughly 14.98. If you see the points that I'm hitting, guys, with the financial aspect of Babcock, you'll see that, and you watch my previous video of how to choose the right stock, you see that Babcock perfectly fits into that into that right stock criteria for me. Obviously there was a list amongst others upon which to choose from, but I particularly focused on Babcock because they have had a really good steady increase in terms of revenue and steady increase in terms of profit. Now, the thing that I was a bit skeptical about Babcock with was the fact that their managerial roles, the people in the managerial positions, their execs, they do change quite a bit, to be honest. And the reason why that puts me off is because of the fact that that saying, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. It's that saying where, you know, when you get in the rhythm of doing things and you're successful, then as soon as you change something, as soon as you put a monkey wrench into that plan, it completely falters 99% of the time. But one thing that kept me sort of believing in Babcock is the fact that obviously they've done that over a gradual period, and yet they're still just as successful as they would be. So that's what really sort of reassured me to keep investing in Babcock. With that said, I'm going to compare Babcock to another company, Legal & General. Let me give you a bit of an overview of Legal & General. Legal & General, what they do is they are a financial services company. So they offer life insurance, pensions, they offer general insurance, and they also assist with the investment sector. So Legal & General basically is like financial services. So I was looking into them. They looked really good from the outlook. They looked really good. Fit all my criteria in terms of how to choose the right stock. My previous video fit all of that. One thing that caught my eye, that made me a bit weary of them, was even though their profits did increase, their revenues would dip and then peak again. And it was so random. Like, so I think in 1 year, I think it was 3 years ago roughly, they basically had a 66% roughly decrease in revenue, but yet their profit was even higher that year. So imagine 2015, I believe it was, they had their revenue was 66% down as compared to the previous year, but yet their profit was still increasing compared to the previous year. I found that very, very dodgy. The reason being is because the following year, their revenue shot straight back up, and then their profit was still increasing. And if you look at their financial charts now, 2017, their profits are still increasing, but then it's like a roller coaster with their revenue. And it was really, really difficult to understand why that was occurring. So that kind of put me off. Not to say that they're not a good company to invest in, but I'm trying to say right now I'm just a beginner, so I can't be affording to take risks. And the more safeguards that I put, the less likely a risk is to occur. So I need to take baby steps before I can walk. Not to say that Legal & General is not a good company to invest in, not to say that, or not to say that I won't invest in them in the future when I have more experience. But as for now, I'm going to stay clear of them, invest in Babcock. It's a bit more steadier. Given the fact that you had that, I looked at the dividend yield and I noticed that the dividend yield was 6%. Now, if you compare this to my previous video, how to choose the right stock, you'll notice that I go specifically for stocks that are 2 to 5%. The reason being is because a dividend yield lower simply isn't worthwhile investing in, and the dividend yield higher means that the company is trying to entice you to invest in them more. So now I used that knowledge and applied it to LNG. So it made me think along the lines of, are they generally trying to reward us with that? Or are they more so trying to bring in a bigger flux of investors to entice them to invest into LNG? And if it was the latter rather than the former, it really did make me think, why are they doing that? So that really put me off investing in LNG. Otherwise, I probably would have invested in them. Another thing that really put me off Babcock was the fact that they have a nuclear power plant. The nuclear power plant that they have in the UK is the biggest compared to any other company in the UK by a landslide. So if everything goes wrong, basically, they would really be liable. They would really suffer badly from publicity, from a financial perspective, just completely ruined. Just one word: Fukushima, the nuclear power plant that exploded in Japan. That left a real big dent in their name. So imagine if that happened to Babcock. That's not good, guys. So it's quite risky, but That's the big sort of downfall I'm not too sure about when it comes to Babcock. But like I said, we invest in their expertise rather than the product. So I'm investing in, I think it's like 100+ years of expertise, engineering geniuses. So I'm investing in those people as opposed to obviously just investing in picturing it as a potential nuclear explosion, literally. Another point that I really like about Babcock is I'm an engineer by trade, and I basically am investing in an engineering company, a company that also offers the expertise to other people, the engineering expertise to other people, and that really aligns well with what I do. So that was one of my big points in my previous video, how to choose the right stock. You need to invest in stocks that you feel definitely complement your mentality, your morality, and complement the way that you think. So Babcock, in terms of that, Babcock definitely ticks the right boxes. So with that said, that's why I've gone for Babcock. There are other companies. I'm gonna go through other companies to tell you why I think they're not the best companies to invest in, why I would probably invest in a different company. But as for now, Babcock is the way, the truth, and the light for me. I've got to still do some more reading, lots of reading, guys. But yeah, lots of reading. But I'm determined, and this is a lifestyle, not a get rich quick scheme. It's a long-term investment, and I'm determined, guys. So, did you guys like it? You know what to do. Like my channel, hit the like button, like my face, subscribe to it, because there's more. And if you want to share my videos, then share that too. LSS, yes, bye.